Okay, so I promise I won't sing anymore for the start of a video. So now we're going to be in the cerebellum. And remember, about half the neurons in the entire brain are found here. And we'll talk about the consequences of what that means. And so we see the indication of a region called the vermis. You have two lobes that make up the cerebellum, the anterior posterior lobes, and then the ridges in the surface of the cerebellum called folia, and we have two hemispheres as well. All right, so the largest part of the hindbrain, certainly, and the second biggest part of the whole brain. We've talked about that. And so I'm not going to ask you specific anatomical questions associated with specific regions of the cerebellum unless I tell you you should absolutely know them. Okay. Now, one you should absolutely know on that vein is the arbor vitae. And these are the collections of myelinated axons that are entering and exiting from the cerebellum. We'll look at the picture of those here in just a sec. So here we see pictures of the cerebellum, back to those same basic set of pictures that we normally enjoy. Okay, so here we see the arbor vitae. We'll see, hopefully you'll see this in the dissection video that I have. But this is the white matter branching that goes into the gray matter of the cerebellum. You see up here those two colliculi in the midbrain we talked about. And let's see, anything incredibly important? No. Well, so remember from the pons we had the peduncle. These are the feet that attach this cerebellum to the rest of the brain, and we're going to see that there are also not only cerebral peduncles but cerebellar peduncles, and the cerebellar peduncles carry the nerve fibers in and out from the cerebellum. The inferior ones, and you should know this, the inferior peduncles, the ones closest to the spinal cord, are connected to the medulla oblongata, so it makes sense. The middle peduncles are connected to the pons, which remember is an information exchange pathway between the cerebrum and cerebellum. And then the superior peduncles carry information out into the cerebellum from into the midbrain. So the cerebellum is all about 3D position in the world. It is going to help us with staying upright while we're walking, riding a bike, throwing a ball, so we can do all of those things efficiently. It's going to help us establish posture. It's also going to evaluate all the sensory information from many, many areas of our body, and particularly areas that are reporting where the joints are positioned, called proprioceptors. Proprioceptors report position of the body to the cerebellum. In addition, it makes sense that we'd want to keep track of time in the cerebellum to help maintain and aid our position in the world. This is where you have incredible memory components within the brain. Memory is maintained in many areas of the cerebrum, but in the cerebellum, it's profound memory. I mean, we never forget how to ride a bike or throw a ball, so it makes sense. In the cerebellum are the flocculonodular lobe, which is important for maintaining the position of postural muscles, and also helps that coordination, that three-dimensional coordination between balance and movement. So it works with the eye's input as well. The hemispheres and the vermis that connects the two hemispheres together assist and help in the fine motor coordination. This is when we're painting at a fine degree, we're doing something tool-wise. And any dysfunction in the cerebellum is called an ataxia. So what does it mean to have this incredible packing of neurons inside the cerebellum? It means that if we ingest alcohol, that the major effect is going to be in the cerebellum. That's why we're going to have troubles in 3D movements, such as bringing our finger to touch the tip of our nose. Because of the density of the neurons, alcohol and other illicit drugs can have a much more profound effect on movement activity than in any other singular region in the brain. This is just a magnificent shot that I've held on to for many years of the cerebellum, and you can see the beautiful white branching pattern, white matter branching patterns in here called the arbor vitae. We see the different functions and different structures of the cerebellum, and I hope you get an appreciation for its localization here. Some people can have conditions where this can sink deeper and it can lead to profound problems with movement, with balance and coordination if this wasn't held properly in place within the brain. But you see the medulla oblongata, you see the pons here moving on up into the midbrain region, right here, the corpora quadrigemina, and we're going to start addressing the structures up here in the next video.